Look who's here now, Congressman Byron Donalds. You're in that area. That's your constituency, the Fort Myers area. That's what you represent. Are people still moving down to Florida after the hurricane and despite all this damage?
There are people who are coming down. They're trying to figure out if their plans are still going to work, but they're going to continue to make that trip. We are seeing people who want to buy property, whether it's distressed or still wanted to make the purchase of their dreams and live, frankly, in Southwest Florida, which is one of the great paradises in the United States, if not the world. So we're seeing that traffic already starting now. It's only going to build up as the area continues to recover.
Hurricane Ian insured losses in your area, your constituency, came in at $7 billion. Is that how much insurance is going to have to shell out in your area?
It looks that way, and I think that estimate is early. There's still a lot of work that has to be done with respect to assessing property in the barrier island, so I anticipate that number is going to go up.
Okay, the midterms, 13 days away, I think it is. Early voting has started in your district. You are up for re-election. What's driving people to vote early? Because we're getting reports from all over the place that early voting is hitting records.
Well, I think specifically you have voters who are just not happy with the direction of the country. We've covered that the last couple of years, Stu. Obviously, people are obviously concerned about inflation, crime, the border, America's standing in the world, and all the issues in between. That's what's driving them to the polls. Even in Southwest Florida, we have residents who are trying to pick up the pieces, but they're definitely making sure their voice is heard and they're getting out to vote as well.
Is your re-election campaign, is it based on the performance of Governor DeSantis in the hurricane? I mean, is this a referendum on Florida's performance with this hurricane?
Actually, well, number one, our response has actually been tremendous. Governor DeSantis has handled this with flying colors. Even Joe Biden had to say when he was down here that the governor's done a tremendous job. But the response aside, it's the conservative leadership from Governor DeSantis. It's my representation of the area based upon conservative principles. That's what's going to lead today towards re-election. The response to the hurricane, in my view, is just adding to the leadership that I think the voters have come to appreciate here in Southwest Florida.
If you win re-election and if the Republicans retake control of the House, what office will you want to hold within the Republican Party after November?
Well, I am running for conference chair. I'm running for House conference chair. I think that, I have an ability to really be a lead messenger in our party. But also, I think that as a conference, we have to be on offense when it comes to messaging. Every member needs to be a part of that. It's local media, it's regional media, of course, national media with you, Stu, but then also all the stuff on the internet and being in constant response mode to the political messages and the political narratives from the left. Every member needs to be engaged in that. And I would love to be able to help my colleagues, because if we can win the messaging war, or even frankly just stay on par with the messaging battle, it helps us not just electorally, but it helps us accomplish the agenda, which is what Republican voters want to see happen on Capitol Hill.
Congressman Donalds, you've been a great help to us over the past couple of years on this program, and we wish you the best of luck in your re-election campaign. Thank you, sir. See you later.
Thank you.